That's Sean Fitz. This is Nate Bauer. I'm Greg Pickel from Blue White Illustrated. Penn State, a 46-10 winner over Ohio at Beaver Stadium. Sean, I'm going to start with you. Biggest takeaway from the day. Obviously, Penn State did very well in many facets of this game. Where do you start the bidding at?
You have to start with the points. Penn State, we've said it so many times. Penn State has struggled to put points on the board in games like this. They did it last year against Villanova. Now all of a sudden they're coming in. 46 points is a pretty good start.
Right.
You got your guys in. You got to play your depth. You got to play some situational football. We talked about the middle eight once again. It was very important.
Yep.
And then you got to the young guys. And if Penn State was trying to hold any sort of expectations back on Drew Aller, on Nick Singleton, they're gone. Right. I mean, you lose the benefit of the doubt here. But Penn State, they put the points up that they had to get to their situational rotations, their depth rotations, and is a pretty clean win.
Yeah, Nate, when you look at this game, what stands out to you? I know that obviously you just had a chance to talk to James Franklin, talk to a handful of players. Where are you at this point coming out of this win? It's a non-conference game. It's a MAC opponent.
Yeah.
But to Sean's point, you couldn't do it much better than Penn State did it today.
Did you guys see Nick Singleton?
Berks County.
I saw him. He lives in Berks County. No, look, he is what we thought he was and what we didn't see last week at Purdue, right? And so to me, that's the step forward, certainly for the program, but also, look, this is a buildup of December, January, February, like 10 months, right? Of, is this guy going to be the home run threat that Penn State needs in the running game? Because when you look at last season and all of the things that went wrong, it felt in many ways as though that was the origin of it, was just the fact that they didn't have a running back in the room or on the roster that could do that could hit home runs. Nick Singleton had 10 carries today. 2 of them went for touchdowns. One was 44 yards. The other one was 70 yards. He had another 41-yard carry or 47-yard carry and an 11-yard carry. So 4 out of 10 carries went for 11-plus yards, and he hit some big home runs. And I mean, I just think that as you look at this team, if that doesn't change the complexion of what this offense is and what this offense can be, I don't think you're seeing the same thing that I am, right? And so that's for me, that's the major takeaway is, hey, this is an offense at Penn State that, 1, has a running back that can hit home runs, but 2, they can actually score points now. They couldn't do it last year. Now maybe they can.
Couple news and notes items. Joey Porter Jr. obviously didn't play much in the second half. I think as you wrote on the Lions Den message board, that's because he was having fun on the sideline because, hey, he did not need to be out there. Neither did Sean Clifford, so nothing to worry about there. James Franklin also said not worried about his kicking game after Jake Pinegar missed an extra point and a field goal, so we'll see where that goes. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, you got to be worried about it. Yeah. Jake Pinegar missed a 42-yarder, missed an extra point.
Right.
He hasn't been asked to kick this year up till today, and then he came out here and did that. I mean, you've got a couple scholarship kickers. You've rotated kickoff specialists with Sanders Hadak and Gabe Nwosu. You got to find something there. Pinegar has been up and down throughout his career, and for him to come out here, miss the 42-yarder, that's alarming because you're going to Auburn next week. You're going to need to make a big kick at some point during the season, even if it's not next week. I disagree with James on that one. This is something that they've got to address.
It's a continuation of a trend that we've seen throughout his career, like you said. Nate, as we look ahead to Auburn, anything coming out of this game that you think matters most for that, or anything you're concerned about going into that game as we get ready to turn the page into Auburn week?
Yeah, I mean, I would just disagree with both of you guys slightly in that I don't think field goals matter, or if they do, then Penn State's doing it wrong. Okay. Like they need touchdowns. They got to score touchdowns. They couldn't do it last year. It all, like, having it matter is missing the point from what they need to do. They got to cash in. They need to score touchdowns. Can they do that now? It seems like it. And I think defensively, that Ohio offense is not horrible.
Not as bad as the numbers show.
Right. And so Penn State's defense was able to hold Purdue to 24 points and now hold a team to 10 points, right? And so home or away, MAC opponent, I get it. All of those things are fine. But I think that it does bode well in terms of their ability to buckle down in the red zone in particular, right? Because Ohio did move the ball. They were able to have a couple of opportunities there that Penn State was able to keep them out of the end zone. So, I mean, I think that it's an interesting spot for Penn State to be in because you're 2 weeks through the season, and I'm not sure that any of us really know exactly what this team is or what they're capable of.
Well, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt playing Ohio. I mean, that's obvious here. But they came out, they did what they had to do. Those runs against Ohio that Nick Singleton had today, Are they going to be there next week? It's hard to say. Auburn's going to be another animal defensively. So you're not going to get the credit you get from beating Ohio, but it was a pretty clean win. You mentioned that defense. They came around for them to be 2 games into a new coordinator, doing what they did. Didn't force any turnovers today and still only gave up 10 points. I think that's okay. Adisa Isaac is coming back around. Curtis Jacobs is improving. Chop Robinson has been a tremendous addition. So those were some of the questions that you have. Can you get to the quarterback? Can you get off the edge? And it looks like those guys are coming around and getting into form.
It's $1 for 1 year of access to Blue White Illustrated. Nate, do you have any final thoughts here? Sounded like you may have.
No, just buy a subscription. Sean's here, Greg's here, I'm here, and we want you to be part of our community. So
Ryan's not here, but he's really good too.
Yeah, so and obviously catch the T. Frank post-game show at BlueWhiteIllustrated.com and YouTube.com/BlueWhiteIllustrated. It's $1 for 1 year. Sign up today. Sean Fitz, Nate Bauer, I'm Greg Pickel. We'll catch you next week from Beaver Stadium. Penn State wins 46-10 over Ohio.